Hi, friends and relatives. Welcome to another episode of the Glorious Mess podcast featuring me, the glorious, messiest, trashiest girl of them all. I am really excited for this episode with my dear friend, Canadian Drag Race icon, legend, star. There's other words I could say, but they're not appropriate for this context. But but we're diving into a conversation that I think is a really big part of your lived experience and the experience of being an immigrant and coming to Canada and growing up in this culture and the intersections of racism that come up and kind of this place where I think that you're at and where the world's at of like bringing back culture to empower you as a person, as a human being. So we're talking about immigration. For those of you who don't know what an immigrant is, it is someone who lives in a country that isn't where they were born.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's really
Wow, I never knew about that. No.
You had no idea what
I had no idea. I legit have no idea.
What does an immigrant mean
Damn.
to you, Stephanie Prince?
I thought immigrant is someone beautiful,
Mm.
someone so talented, and someone so fuckable that RJ tried to lick their asshole once.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're definitely gonna put this on the rated R version of the podcast. This is gonna premiere at 2 a.m. after hours. But no, thank you, Stephanie, for
Hello.
coming and taking time to have a conversation. And yeah, I don't know. I think there's something, I don't know, in your career, have you felt like you get to people address kind of what your experiences are and how that was unique for you as an immigrant?
What do you mean?
Do you get to talk about that experience often as someone who was on Drag Race? Did you get to bring the uniqueness of your life story to...
Yeah, definitely. But my time was so short on Drag Race that I feel like it wasn't told enough, or it wasn't. It was not enough because again, my time was so short, and I would love to tell more about my story, but again, there's only so much you can tell if you're on Drag Race, because there's also 12 queens that in there is also trying to tell their storylines.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it all depends. I mean, we know with the industry in general, it's whatever the producers want in the end. A lot of things are filmed.
I didn't say that. You said that.
Hey, a lot of things are filmed, and not everything makes it to the final product, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's how TV and film works, and we're grateful to it for these things. As long
you
as
can
they
say
keep
99 things, but only one of them will make it on TV.
Literally. I actually think of the times I remember I did this scene and it was this huge, I was actually in drag, full drag. I had a full camera was on me. I was working the world. And then the episode came out and the whole thing was cut. The whole scene.
Wait, what is this? Wait, I thought are you fucking with me?
No. Oh my God, no.
Wait, what is this?
The show, it was a pilot of a show. I honestly can't even remember. It was in Vancouver. It was a pilot of a show. It got a 10 episode season 1, and then it got canceled after 3 episodes. And I think it's because they didn't put me as a drag.
Wow.
It was an after hours nightclub drag scene, and I walked in with the camera and the actor, and I honestly couldn't tell you what the fuck the show was about. I still don't know to this day. I just remember
you got paid though, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
that's all that matters.
I got the paycheck.
That's all that matters. You got a paycheck.
I don't think I got the IMDb credit now that I think about it, but who cares? I got the paycheck. That's the most important part. But that industry is such a fun, wild place.
Wild.
And
the world is wild. Yes.
I remember are you allowed to talk about when you were initially almost casted on a previous season? And wasn't there some barriers because of your immigration status, or no?
On season 1?
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't a citizen yet when auditioned for season 1, and we made this thing that I pretty much auditioned and I did everything, and then I wasn't a citizen yet. So I'm not sure, but maybe that impacted my audition process. Yeah, because I don't know. I was never sure about that. And
And this,
then
yeah,
I auditioned again for season 2, and then like I became a citizen, and then I was like, okay, no problem.
yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe it is part of it. It's one of many reason why I didn't get on season 1. Also, season 1 is trashy, so
Listen, season
so
one,
thank God I wasn't in there.
yeah, you were in a well-produced season for
Hmm.
sure, but the chaos of season one will forever be like legendary.
I was thinking, I kind of wish that I'm on season 1 because I would be the look of the look queens, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is you, nah,
Well,
nah.
but that's like, and I think that's the thing too. Like there's a bunch of things and activities actually in Canada that like could really benefit anyone who lives in Canada. But there is a barrier of like, oh, but if you're not a Canadian citizen, you cannot participate in this thing.
Mhm.
And so, but I want to go back. When you were in the Philippines growing up, I almost said growing up
Oh,
in
so way, way,
Manila.
way back. Okay,
I was like, you weren't born in Manila. Oh, you weren't, right?
I was born in Manila. Yeah.
Okay, okay. For some reason, I knew that, and then I was like thinking of Manila, Luzon, and I'm like, am I being problematic? And I no, it is Manila. Okay, good. I pay
It's
attention.
Manila. Yeah.
But growing up in Manila, like what was it that led to your family making the decision to be like, hey, we're going to Canada? Like what was going
Mm.
on then? That's what I'm super curious about.
And like growing up in Manila, it's very poor.
Hmm.
You know, we are kind of fortunate to like not live in the slums, but we're right beside the slums.
Hmm.
And I think like again, like working there, you work hard for like little money, and my family decided to like, you know what, one of my parents are gonna like find a job abroad. My mom actually was the one who wanted to move, like to go to other countries. She tried to go to Saudi Arabia, to Qatar, to Italy, and she got scammed 3 times. And I felt so bad. Yeah, she got like one time she
Yeah.
was almost to Italy because like you have to like connecting flights.
Yeah, yeah.
So she was on the way to Italy. I think she landed in France
Hmm.
first,
Hmm.
and then they were like, "Yeah, your documents are fake." Yeah,
No.
so she stayed in France, like in like not in jail, but like in like where they keep like illegal, like kind of like you can't cross the
Oh
border
my,
right now.
wow.
And she stayed there for like 2 nights, and then went back home, and then she's paid a lot of money
Yeah. Because
to
she would have
work
paid to
abroad.
get those first forms.
Hmm. Yeah, and then after 3 times of trying, my mom gave up, and then my dad tried, and then we he moved to Canada, and then I think it was like 7 years later, he decided to, come here, come to Canada, let's be a family again, and then you have to work when you get here.
Wait, you had to work.
I had to work when I get here. When at the age of 15, I got my first job.
Oh my God. And so wait, I mean, and that's because that's when did you move here though? How old were you?
2011? Yeah, 2011. So that is
Okay, yeah,
12 years. 11, 12? I don't do math. I'm sorry.
that's okay. And it was, yeah, the expectation was like, you get
Mhm.
here, you're going to work.
Mm. Yeah, for like I had my summer to be like, okay, Canada, and then school
Maple
starts, and
syrup.
then and maple syrup and squirrels.
And,
No,
and
seriously,
then
I remember coming here to Canada. I was chasing squirrels to take a photo. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. I've never seen a squirrel.
okay, I don't know, have you ever watched a squirrel climb something like a wall?
Yeah,
Okay, their muscles are bulky.
they're
Like
oh my god, they're crazy.
I was shook. But no, and then so then when you got here, like what was the obviously it was completely different, but like
Mhm.
how was the culture shock and how was like adjusting?
Oh my god, every time someone asks me a culture shock moment, like it's like, what is your biggest culture shock? And I'm like, toilet paper.
Oh,
Yeah, toilet paper. It's like I still can't get over the fact that people in here uses toilet paper. It's
and it's
crazy because
expensive.
it's expensive, and like in the Philippines we just use water. And you know this. Up to this point, I still don't use toilet paper. to my
No.
ass. I use a
No,
duvet or a tabo.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm like, as someone who's stayed at your home many times, I've ran out of toilet paper, and I think I've purchased my own. Sometimes.
Yeah, seriously, like every time you're here, right? It's like, oh, sorry, I'm out of toilet paper. I'm not gonna buy one for you.
Yeah, no, and but I did actually discover the beauty of a bidet, and it
Oh, it's so good.
changes the
It's
game.
so
But then
refreshing.
in the Philippines, do you have bidets, or you just
We have like this little bucket that you use, and and then you just like fill it up with water and you pour it after.
oh, okay,
You put it in your like in your booty hole.
okay.
So like you let the water slide, you know.
So you were douching very early on in life.
Yes.
You,
Yes. And also that's the beauty about cleaning your ass with water. You're instantly ready to go.
yeah, hey, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
probably
I can like right after I take a shit, someone can eat my ass right away.
and like that's the like those are the things. And what other like what else would you say like in those early years where like I do not understand this at all?
Oh, school system is actually way different. Like Philippines school system is way harder. When I got in here,
Yeah.
everybody was like, "Oh yeah, bring your calculator." I'm like, "Calculator?
I,
Nobody in the Philippines uses calculator. Like you have
you,
to learn. Yeah, yeah. You have to learn all the formulas and multiplication and shit. Nobody like yeah, calculator. And school system is just generally like so much easier here.
yeah.
I mean, I still failed because I was sad and depressed and I was skipping a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so much easier here. Like school system is a lot easier to adjust, especially because when I moved in here, I moved into like a very like I would say the rough neighborhood, and
Hmm,
there's like
hmm,
also a lot of immigrants that
hmm.
go to that school. So like going in school in here is like it's very easy for me to adjust because you just kind of find like you just find a group of Filipinos in there, and then you
Hmm.
guys stick together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it wasn't hard, but it wasn't hard. It was a challenge, but it wasn't like something I didn't. What's the word for that?
Didn't handle.
Yeah, handle. That's the
Yeah.
word.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, yeah. And so I'm curious, like, so I remember seeing like my foster parents, obviously for them, like, because they were black in this white North American society
Hmm.
where, white and everything was proper, I felt like there was always this need to appear like everything was perfect. Like we always
Hmm.
had to have our clothes pressed and everything had to be like, we never talked about things that happened in the house, like, because there was this desire and need to fit into this again white North American
Hmm.
narrative and space. Like, did you and your family find that? Like, what was that like?
Oh, me and my family always just like we just kind of do our own thing. Like me and my family have like also other Filipino family friends. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't like you know. Thank God when we moved here, we didn't instantly learn how to live the white way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because like yes, we have like my mom and my dad have their like co-worker friends where they're like different race, but we always have a circle of like our Filipino culture. We
Mm-hmm.
always have like once a week there's always like a Filipino birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
So we never really like do like this is the right way to live. This is the you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you
So
got to
yeah,
like still you had community and
we
culture.
have yes exactly we have a community here that and then we just kind of like slowly go to expand more Canada system whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when it came to like when it was time to like actually become a Canadian citizen, like how was that? What was the process even like? I feel like
It
nobody
was
knew.
honestly it's not that hard.
No.
Yeah, it wasn't that hard. Like you literally you read a book.
Okay.
I didn't even read the book. I just started like but there is a book that they give you,
Hmm.
and then you just kind of like just started taking quizzes online, and then I
Hmm.
just like you know try to remember that, and then you go in there, you sing your national anthem, you take your promises to be a better Canadian citizen, and then you take the quiz, and then I got one question wrong.
Oh,
Wait,
what?
no, I never mind. I got a perfect score actually. Yes, I got a perfect score. I'm not lying about that.
What
I
was
got
it?
a perfect score.
I'm curious. Like, what are the questions like? Like, can you give an example of
It's
one?
literally like what is the wait, what's the word? Like fuck, what is Canada's biggest what's the word? Money earning thing.
Oh, like this is
What's
the
the word
blind
for
leading
that?
the blind. Trade,
Sure.
industry.
Eco something.
Okay, ecosystem,
No, I don't know. But you know what I
ec-
mean?
economical. Like,
Yeah, economical shit. Like for example, like what is Vancouver's biggest economical earning money earner? And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, instead of saying, I don't know. Like most people think Alberta is oil and gas, but no, it's actually agriculture. Just like shit like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So,
Who is the first president of who is the first prime minister? Who is like what are the 9 provinces and 3 territories? Shit like that.
and speaking of, I'm glad you corrected
Honestly,
from.
they need to make it harder. Anyways, yeah.
No, I'm glad you corrected from president to prime minister. And I mean, you actually did get to meet our Lord and
Oh
Savior,
yeah,
Daddy
Daddy.
Justin
I was
Trudeau.
so yeah, Daddy. Have you seen that ass in person?
Yeah, like did you shake his hand? Have you touched him?
I did, yeah. I also hugged him, and I'm sure there's a picture of us lurking around. I don't think they released it.
Yeah, there's probably some deep
Yeah.
protections on there. And I loved the moment because what did you say? You said you called him hi, you said hi, Daddy,
Yeah,
if
hi,
I'm correct.
Daddy. Hmm.
Iconic.
Hi,
That's how we
Daddy.
should address. And you brought up this that was like a really good narrative moment, I think,
Hmm.
for you, where you got like just the joy that it is to be able to have immigrated from
Hmm.
the Philippines and from Manila to come here. But I'm curious though, like in your experience, like as you've gotten older, and when we look at like the increase of hate, especially against Asian Canadian folks, like
Hmm.
what are some of the like obstacles or kind of stories and struggles that you've experienced while being here?
A lot of things, especially working on my industry. Like at this point, I still see myself as the diversity hire.
Mm,
You know what I mean? It's like even before Drag Race, because me with what Abia Mirage being the only like Asian people
mm-hmm,
in Calgary performing in drag.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If one of us gets hired, we are like one of us is the diversity hire.
Also,
That is just
please, and just sorry, just a disclaimer that if anyone like Andrew Childs listens to this and tries to cancel you because you said there's only two Asian
which I don't
drag
give a
queens,
shit.
there is more than two Asian drag queens, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but when I started, there was the only 2 of us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Before he started, there was the only one of me in Calgary.
Yeah.
Seriously, name another one. I'll wait.
Mar Marguerite, no. There's
No,
another
that's in
Filipino.
Vancouver.
There's another. Oh, Margarita. No, sorry. There's another Filipino girl. She's in Edmonton, though. I'm thinking, right? Yeah.
There's a lot in Edmonton actually, but
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Calgary,
In
yeah,
Calgary, no.
no,
No, you're
there's
right.
not
And
a
there's
lot. Yeah.
and it wasn't like when I mean, obviously I'm a little older than you, and like when I came into
So much older.
when I came into the gay community, like I can't remember any sort of visible people of color. Like
Hmm.
it was just the white queen.
Yeah, the white. Yeah, seriously, the white queens. Like when I started, I'm like literally treated they like, like okay, work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yay, we could have an Asian queen. Like before I started, there was Felicia Bonet, which is a black
Yes.
performer,
Yeah.
and then when I started, there was another Asian queen
Mm.
who kind of quit while I was starting.
Okay.
And then when I started, and then Abia started, and then Dana Hart started. So like it just came to rise.
Fruition. Yeah. It just
The
and it
the
grew.
it
And when
grew,
I look
yeah.
like last time I was in Calgary, and I was like, oh my God, like the drag scene is so eclectic now. Like there's really kind of a space and home for
For
everybody. What's
everybody,
that?
yeah.
What's that quote? There's room for everybody. And that comes with opinions, I'm sure, but it's cool, I think, at least to know like Calgary is a space that like has a diverse offering of talent available. Whether they're always utilized and in
Yeah.
every show is another conversation, but like there is like a diverse and like
Hmm.
even accessibility too. Like I've seen some of the best like queens who have mobility and sorry, drag artists who have mobility issues in Calgary,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
slay the stage with
Say
fucking
slave.
with the walker. and
I thought you
and
said
I
slave. I'm like, whoa.
no, no, slay the stage, slay the stage. And that's
Yeah.
and then when we look at like, I mean, I don't obviously remember like there was that kind of not stereotype, but this common theme on like Grinder and gay dating sites, like no fats, no femmes, no
Nope.
Asians.
That's three of me. Hey. I check
And
all the
also side
boxes.
note, I wish I would if you had a photo of you when you were a little chubster. Stephanie Prince used to be a little chonker.
Okay, it's coming up on the screen.
Yeah,
That's not
yeah.
a thing. It's not a thing. Can we do that?
When Freddie sponsors this podcast, yes. Until then, no, the budgets are tight.
Freddie, if you guys don't know what Freddie is, they provide HIV prevention online for free.
It's happening right here.
Yeah.
I
Freddie.
got my prep.
Yeah. Prep. Okay. That reminds me, I have to take my prep.
Good reminder. But like, yeah, when you're navigating like dating apps, gay dating apps, like, do you
Hmm.
find like are people as hateful as they say?
Honestly, at this point, I don't really care. I don't care
Okay.
about dating. I don't like obviously I care about who I'm gonna sleep with sometimes because but I don't want to fuck someone random. But at the
Yeah.
same time, like it does really apply to people. It's like I care about whoever is gonna give me attention.
Hmm.
You know,
Okay.
and yeah, it was just I don't care about that thing. You can be
Do
you can be into white people. I don't give a shit.
and do
I'm
you
only gonna
get
look
like
at you. Yeah.
do
Hmm?
people come to you with like derogatory racial comments because of your Asian heritage on those
Honestly,
apps?
people come to me because I'm Asian and they like it.
Mm.
You know
Okay,
what I
okay.
mean? It's
Yeah.
like I don't get. I'm sure I have gotten hate because on Grinder because I'm Asian, but people most like people most of the time message me she's like, "Oh, are you Filipino? I love Filipinos." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, great, fan." Like but sometimes I have no problem with that though. Like, sure, fan, like
Yeah.
fetish. What's the word? Fetish.
It's like
Fetish.
fetishization, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, sure, do that to me. I don't care as long as I'm gonna fuck in your heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When there's some
Yeah,
like there's a big debate in like the whole idea of like fetishization and
yeah.
like the power dynamics, but the reality is like there are people who like to be fetishized,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
they deserve to be valid in their
yeah.
experience. Like
Hmm.
who am I to judge? It's when it becomes, I think,
Yeah,
like
if it's like a one-time thing, sure, why not? But if you're like actually trying to date me, like only dating me because I'm Asian, you know what I
mm,
mean?
mm-hmm,
Like, like it does have like a role to play
mm-hmm,
if you're gonna be in a relationship.
mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of glad that you like my appearance. I have no problem with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a point. It's an important factor
Mhm.
for some at least.
Mhm.
And so now
Like I'm.
take oh,
Yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry, never mind. Never
You
mind.
go.
Go ahead.
No, you had a thought. I want to hear.
No, I didn't have a thought.
I'm like, I'm always like, I'm nervous to know where that was gonna go.
No, I was just gonna say like I've talked or like or dated some people that said I would never date another white person.
Mm.
Is that a problem? Is that a like? But I honestly I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this.
No, I see what you're saying. Like you're saying you've dated people who said they would not date other white
They
people.
would not date other white people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for me, like we have to let people show up.
Hmm.
We have to just spend more time kind of empowering people where they're at and acknowledging where they're
And
at.
also, I honestly I love people like that though. Like they would
Yeah.
never like date another white people because this is the thing. I like recently had a thought about this. The only way to end racism is for if we make it illegal for white people to marry another white person. If you really think about it, you know what I mean? There will no, you know what I mean?
I hear your heart. Like the
Yeah,
idea that like
guys,
if we
because if
if we diversify people's like
yeah,
DNA,
and
we're
also
g-
they did it. Like white people, made it illegal for black people or like POC people to marry a white person. Why can't we
yeah.
do it to white people? Just saying.
Well, and
Just
there was,
saying.
I
And
mean, you
maybe not like forever. Maybe in just like 20 years.
just for a period, just so everyone
Just
could
for a
be.
period.
When it's like when you think of like in like for indigenous people for back in the early days of the Indian Act, like
Mhm.
if you wanted to marry a white man as an indigenous woman, you could do it, but you would have to give up your status as an indigenous
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
And so it's like I mean it sounds funny to say it now because we're like, will it solve it? Who knows? But the reality is like that's what they did to every other culture.
Mm.
So
And we never
it
did it to white people. Why can't we do it to white people?
and let's be clear, like the best looking people are
Are
mixed.
mixed. Are
Like,
mixed. Also, there is a survey that came out recently that the most beautiful race ever, Filipino is top three. So,
hey.
yay. And also top three, bitch. I'm still single. Why is nobody trying to fuck me right now? Most beautiful, bitch. Where the fuck they at though?
You know what? This is also an episode to announce that Stephanie is looking for a mate. So if you're
Yes,
interested,
I'm using this podcast as grinder right now.
it's better than Grinder. It truly is. But now, okay, take me into like I think now what I'm seeing and like there's this like cultural resurgence, at least I see, and it's been a part of your entire like career as a drag artist. Like
What
you've
does
always
resurgence mean?
resurgence is like restoration of what was. So like bringing to life
Hmm.
Filipino culture. And like I think for you it's always been a big part. So like when you were deciding your runways, like you always brought your culture to the
Hmm.
runway. And now you're bringing it to the Instagram in the form
And
of
the TikTok of cooking.
not cooking. Okay, so talk to me about it. What inspired Stephanie Prince?
I always say this: if I'm not a drag queen, if I didn't choose drag as a profession, I would be a professional cook. I will be a professional chef.
Mm,
And everybody in my family are great cooks. We came from a lineage of great cooks. I'm
hmm.
actually the worst one in my family,
Oh
believe
wow.
it or not. Yeah, I am the worst one. Like my dad is such a great cook.
Hmm.
Yeah. I always just I grew up learning how to cook. I always like watch my parents, my brothers and my sisters, and I'm always like the sous chef. Like I would just like cut things and they would flavor it. You know.
Hmm.
Yeah, I always grew up around food and cooking, and yeah, I just want to incorporate that to what I love doing, which is drag and food.
Hmm.
Yeah, which
And you
which
made
is
it.
drag. So that's yeah, and then I made it, and then I'm doing it, and I love it, and I I love food. I will never give food. Honestly, I would rather give up drag than food.
Then I mean, I have had your cooking many times.
Thank you.
Sometimes I'm worried that I'm like, is this food still good? But you always say it is. Let me just heat it up for you, and we'll burn, and we'll get rid of all the bacteria. It might have been in here for a week or two, but it's okay.
Oh, yeah, bitch. I'm Filipino. Again, I grew up poor. We don't waste food.
No, we do know.
Yeah,
That's.
one time, like I remember one time when like this, we have like like a rice,
Mhm.
like a pot of rice, and my mom doesn't want us to waste it, but like we have to throw it out because it's so bad. Like it's literally it got sticky and moldy.
Mhm.
But my mom forced us to eat it.
Oh my god.
Because bitch, again, in the Philippines we don't waste food.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
Cause
hey,
she told us not to waste food. Cause
and you don't. I can.
and I don't.
And it's stuck. And then now, when I'm thinking of just the people who got to opportunity to listen to, this conversation and talking about your experience here as an immigrant in Canada, what, like, for any other immigrants listening, is there a message you want to send home to them?
um, be strong.
Hey, hashtag
Hey,
be
be
strong.
strong, bitch. If you're Yeah, seriously, you're an immigrant. That means you were raised by wolves.
Hey,
So, I don't know where I'm going with that, but don't adopt to a white Western. Sorry, I shouldn't. I keep saying white, but like Western. What's the word?
Western worldview,
Western way.
culture.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, don't. You obviously you need to like kind of adapt to it, but like don't fully take it as your thing.
Hmm.
Go back. Sometimes look back. Looking
Yeah,
back is great.
yeah.
Don't forget who you are. Don't forget where you come from, because that is the beauty of being an immigrant, is you have something that is unique to you.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
always embrace that. Always teach your friends and teach your coworkers to like, oh my god, yeah, this is what I learned in my culture.
Hmm.
Teach that to them, because
Yeah.
sometimes white people are boring. Sometimes they get fascinated by, again, by me using water instead of toilet paper. They get fascinated by that, by little shit like that.
Literally, yeah. And differences are like the coolest thing.
Hmm.
I like it's such a cool opportunity to be like, wow, this is so different. Like, let's
Yeah,
look more into that. Let's
yeah,
like and learn from each other. And I think that's what's missing in this like
yeah.
white westernized world is like, no, we actually know the best way. This is the best way and it's the only way. And it's like, well,
Like,
actually,
no, no, there are many ways, and white people try to delete it in our history books,
yeah.
but there's people like us who remembered.
Yes. And brought us up. And that's like when you were saying raised by wolves, like that's what I thought of is like culture, regardless of how colonization in various
Hmm.
communities has been done, like culture is resilient. The
Hmm.
spirit of people from marginalized communities is strong and resilient. And no matter how many times it's erased or put down, like it supersedes all things. And I think that's like the most beautiful thing.
Yeah. And
And
also, again, we're pretty.
and you're
Immigrants are so pretty. Yeah,
and
POC
top three.
people, black people, indigenous people, we're so fucking pretty. Like, come on. We can't go wrong.
Yeah. And top three also Filipinos, top three on the hottest people in
Yeah.
the world, right?
But we're also the most racist one, though. We're top five in the most racist. Yeah, again, there is this, there are lists about Filipinos. We are top three, the most gorgeous, but also top five, the most racist. I'm
Oh
like, God
wow.
damn it. I have to do better. I have to be number one.
Yeah. And that's like, isn't that interesting? The paradigm of it all is so interesting. But yeah, as we conclude this episode, I hope there's a gem of wisdom in our hilarious, culturally driven
Yeah,
trash
there's somewhere
conversation.
in there.
There's somewhere, just dig
Yeah,
deep.
yeah. It's like if you like repeat what we said, it was like,
Mm. Just skip
that's
forward.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You skip to the next episode. No. Or just, can you block the podcast? Just block. No.
Honestly, we're not even gonna upload this. I'm
This, yeah,
sorry.
we're just gonna leave this in the bonus episodes for season one. Okay,
A
well,
blooper.
Stephanie, I love you dearly. Thank you for this amazing
I love, yeah.
conversation. And for those of you listening, we'll be back again with another amazing episode in a week's time. So I look forward to chatting with you then. And stay cultural.
Mwah.
You're raised by wolves. Mwah.
Yeah. Stay cultural. Stay immigrant. Wait, how do you stay immigrant?
You know what? You don't gotta if you what's that? You ain't gotta stay immigrant if you gonna get I'm just trying to make it. I
Stay
failed.
immigrant. Don't get your citizenship.
Yes. And
Yes.
remember, hashtag be strong.
Hashtag be strong.
Okay.
Hashtag you were raised by wolves.
All right. Talk to everyone. Have a great day.